Hello again. So what I'm going to do is one more experiment before we put the motor controller board on top of this and get us closer to the actual robot. But I think it's a good idea to make sure you really are connected and understand what's sort of happening. And I'll probably branch these videos, so we're going to move quickly into that little robot so you can kind of get it going. But I'll offer some branch points out so you can learn more about actually how this thing works and some more detailed programming. But right now, one more little experiment before we move on to the robot. I'm going to make a new file. Alright, actually I'll just close that one out. No. And I'm going to start right off by saving it. And I'm going to put it in my after school folder. And I'm going to call it welcome. Okay, and I'm not a fast typer, so I'm going to pause it and you'll see code magically appear. See how fast I can type? So I'm actually going to, we'll explain this a little bit and then we'll run it and then I'm going to show you a couple other things. But anyway, in the setup, this is important to understand. Setup runs only once. Loop runs over and over and over again. Okay, so this is going to appear on every single Arduino program that you start off with. The setup and a loop. As soon as you hit File New, Setup and Loop. Now in this particular case, what I've done is I've opened up a serial port. Okay, I want to be able to communicate. I want the Uno to be able to communicate to my computer. So I'm open up this communication line. I'm going to set it at 9600 baud. And then this line is optional, but I like to use it. While it's not serial, in other words, while it's not actually connected, while there's no window open, it waits. It gets stuck in a loop, in an infinite loop right here. And then as soon as you open up the serial window, which I'll show you in a second, it breaks that and it goes down to the main loop. And what's it going to do? It's going to print the word hello, and it's going to wait 1 second. Hello, wait 1 second. And this is actually going to do something funny, and I just want to point it out, and then I'll show you how to correct it. So let's actually run it. And it's compiling. First time always takes a little while. Uploading. Saw some funny flashes, and it's done. So notice, right now, nothing's happening because there's no serial window open yet. It's stuck in this loop. But as soon as I open the serial monitor, we start getting the output. And of course, it's exactly what I thought it would be, which is terrible. It'd be nice if that appeared on each individual line. There's a couple of ways to do it, but the easiest way is just to put in an LN, meaning new line, and now you're going to see when I reload it, it appears on a new line. Okay, let me pause this one more time and I'm going to add some comments because everybody should put comments in their code. So you can see what I've done here is I've added some basic comments. You should get into the habit of doing this. Absolutely not necessarily, but it's highly recommended, and if you're ever taking one of my classes, you would lose points if you did not. So at any rate, what I've done, this 2/ lines means these are comments. They appear in gray, and they do not get compiled. They're not going to be part of the program. They're they're messages to yourself or to anybody else who might be reading your code, and it kind of explains what you were doing. This may seem trivial in a piece of code like this, but trust me, after a while, it's a really good habit to go through. So here you can see it created a serial port. It waits for the serial port to open in an infinite loop there until it opens, and it breaks the loop. And then we do actually run into the actual loop, and it says hello, and it delays for 1 second. And if I compile it, you should see no particular difference here because none of this actually gets compiled. It's just notes to yourself. Okay. Now the last thing I was going to do on this one, since it's a short video, is I'll add the flashing light to it. and then we'll start assembling this thing. So I will pause it again, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, I'm back. And you can see I'm actually already running it. It's just saying hello. And what I've done here is I've added the extra function where you can see this LED is flashing. I did that by first off telling the pin where the LED is connected, pin 13, to be an output. Okay. And then I jump down to my infinite loop here. It says hello. And then it tells pin 13 to be high. I could have used just a 1. In other words, turn it on. Wait for 500 milliseconds or half a second. Then turn it off. Wait another 500 milliseconds. And the loop repeats itself. It types the word hello and the light flashes on and flashes off. So that's it. Now your board is connected, and what I'm going to do now is show you how to just upload some programs into the board as well as your robot, and you can play with it, and then we'll talk about how to play with those code, and then we'll work on figuring out how to write our own code. So I will see you shortly.